Okay, so my mountain bike, I think it's a 2010 Gary Fisher. It's getting a little old. Some of the parts are getting a little old on it. Some of it's getting a little outdated. Just the fact that it's 26-inch wheels is a bit outdated. But some of the parts are getting a little finicky, so I wanted to change it up. Maybe I'd like to get a new mountain bike, but I'm not ready for that yet, so I wanted to do some work to this one and make it cool to get me by a while longer. So what I did, I went single speed, which is really cool. No more derailleurs, none front, none rear. I've got this DMR tensioner here on the chain to take up the slack, because this does have vertical dropouts on the frame. So there's no adjustment on the frame to tighten your chain. I bought a half-link chain here, half-link BMX style chain, so that I could fine-tune it a little better than a regular type of link. So I got it as small as I could, but they were still a little slack, so I put this tensioner on. This tensioner is not spring-loaded. This tensioner you put on, pull it down to where you want it, and you fix it here. So it's a fixed tensioner, it's not spring-loaded. I took the front derailleur off quite a while ago, and so it's still just the one gear at front, one gear in the back. I'm running a 40-18. These are BMX gears, BMX sprocket, and gear in the back. This kit for the back, I removed the Shimano cassette that was on here and bought this kit. Comes with some spacers, put in my gear, then a couple more spacers here to fill up the area that would have been taken up by a 8-gear cassette is what I had on this bike. So that's gone. One gear, no derailleurs, no bouncing around, no clanking. The bike is quiet. You don't think about what gear you're in, you just crank it and go. There's no skipping, there's no jumping around under tension with the gears or the chain. If you stand up and crank, it's gonna go. There is no slack, there is no wrong gear choices, because it's only one gear. I did try a couple of gears. I had the 40 tooth in the front, which may be a little big, but it's what I had, so I used it. So the back, I started with a 21 gear, which was a little too low of a gear, so it was easier to pedal, but I'd run out of speed pretty quick. I've got this 18 and also a 16. I think the 16 would be a little bit harder to pedal. I think the 18 is going to work out good. With the 26-inch wheels, they say to look for a 2-to-1 ratio, which the 40 and 18 is pretty close to 2-to-1. The other big change up here was the rigid front end. It had an old shock on the front that was close to 10 years old and pretty worn out. The lockout didn't work anymore. I never really liked the shocks on a bike anyway, being from a BMX background. So I used to ride with the shock locked out, but the lock kind of broke a long time ago, so it was just a squishy front end, which doesn't transfer power well when you're standing up and really cranking on it. So took that off and put on this rigid fork. Like it much better, much better. So no derailleurs, means I can clean up my handlebars. Right now you'll see I've only got one brake lever. I do plan to put the front brake back on, but with this fork, this is an IS mount and I need a post mount, so I need the IS to post adapter to put my caliper back on there. But I do plan to do that. I do plan to keep the front brake. I thought about running it with just the single brake in the rear, but being a mountain bike, you do kind of get on some downhill situations where it's nice to have that front brake. So I'm going to get the adapter, put that brake back on, and I've got another mount, another lever like this one. This one's a cheap lever, but I did get 2 of them to put this on. That cleans it up real nice without any of the shifters on the lever. So that's what I've got. Really enjoying it. Kind of BMX inspired, I guess, with no gears, no suspension. You just crank and go. Again, really quiet. No derailleurs bouncing around. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. Let me get some more use out of this one. I did put new tires on it too. The other tires were worn out. So bike's ready for summer. I'm gonna start riding with some guys here locally, and this should be fun. See how it goes.